Hey, good morning, everybody. Am I on? Yeah. So, ouch. This position is it's still not doing good. It was weird because it was way up at some point where it was only $300 down or something, and then it took this dive this morning. And I looked at the news, which is weird that would make it happen, but so obviously this is on my mind to start with. I have it to sell out at 183.70, which would be a nice profit for 400 shares. But depending on how it goes, I may try to manage that a different way. I don't want this to shoot down into the low 70s as it's starting to go down here. So I mean, I have to think about what to do. Do I cut out half of my position and then ride the rest up higher for a longer swing? This is not what this account is for. This account is to do scalping. So, this is just a pre-market drop off. So I'm not, you know, overly concerned, but it is a little concerning for sure about getting into like a $5,000 loss, would blow this whole scalping account, the way this scalping account's it blows the profit, I mean, on the scalping account. So probably what I would do in a situation like that is to, since I made it into a swing trade, I can negate it from what's supposed to happen, because I should have probably just taken the loss at like 300, which is what I was considering doing, and then I made it a swing, which is, everybody has to do their own thing. I was trying to stick to the max we would do on the 25,000 PDT, but I might have, and it would have worked for me, gone up to 800 or even 1,600 shares on the bounce, before it bounced up, anticipating a bounce up yesterday, and then I would have been out for a profit. Now, you guys know that's how I do it. I was trying to stick to these kind of rules, if you want to call them that. So I didn't do that, and so now I'm thinking about the money more than the teaching aspect of it, which probably I should be doing all the time anyway. But I keep getting those two confused, because I could have made this a profitable trade, could have, would have, should have, and I didn't, because I wanted to stick to share sizes that everybody could handle at the PDT. And of course, that could have gone against me too. I didn't know for sure it was going to go up, but you can see it got very close to my position there. 82, I think someplace else. Yeah, here at the end of the open session. Had I added to it in this area, which is my modus of operandi, is to add to 800 shares somewhere down in here, and then I would have been at 181. Anywhere in here I could have profited, so that's not even going to 1,600 shares. I could have been out for, 25 to 50 cents on 800 shares. It would have been a nice day trading profit, and that usually gets me out of trouble. Occasionally I get stuck in, like I did that one time where I was at 146 and then it went down to 83. I did sell out and then made money. I didn't wait till it got to 83. I sold out, and then I made money on the swing up, and that, overall ended up being profitable that month or whatever, 45 days, by riding it back up on one of my other accounts. But so it does get me from time to time. I think I told you yesterday I had a huge stake in Apple and did a couple $100,000 on that dip and swing up just last week and the week before. When it got near 200, I piled on with a massive amount of shares. So did a lot of other people, and we knew it was going to recover. We felt strongly it would recover, and it did. And then we all made like huge money. So it helps our month. But when you look at this could, and I think right now we're at 3,800 for the month. So if I just took it and registered it, it would bring down the profits for this month. Probably we could look at it two different ways, how I would do this. But why I'm even contemplating that it's going to be worse now is not just because of this move, it's because of the news. So weak on valuation concerns, but Goldman target raised to 200. Watch Q2 earnings. I don't really want to wait for the next earnings in this position. it would not have been a swing position up in the $180 range of Nvidia, because it is near its high. It could be near its high for a while. It was just supposed to be a quick day trade, right? We know how those goes. So this is disturbing. More like it's a failure for all you guys, than the money's really going to hurt me. But I want every trade to be successful, right? Is that weird? Every trade to be successful. So, yeah, does that mean that this strategy isn't viable? No, not by any means. In fact, if I sold right now, we'd still be way up for the month, and there's a lot of months to go. But I'm just thinking about what do I want to do besides this strategy, to make or lose the least or make the most off of this trade. It's too soon to call it what I'm going to do here. I don't understand why the news I'm reading on Nvidia would make it come down that much. There's more detail that Charlie put together here. Core weave, that's CRWV, an all data center operator backed by Nvidia, plummeted into 17 to 21% range after reporting a larger than expected net loss. This could raise concerns about the margin in AI infrastructure's margins. So that's a story from Reuters, whatever, and Investopedia. I always have trouble reading that source. So is that causing that? That came out recently, a very recent story. So anyway, I don't want to spend all morning on this, but so I have to assess what to do here. So we'll stay away from day trading this right now. You can see my position to sell out right there, which shows my entire account if I pulled it over my account number, which is kind of aggravating because I have it on hidden status, but it shows it. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the others. Nvidia is still at the top of the scanners. It's $1.29 from its high. Its ATR is $4, and I'm just looking at this here. This is, based on the special scanner that I have. That's 100,000 volume in 1 minute on a 1 minute candle, a minimum of 100,000. So, there's where it's at, 180 right now. I thought it was frozen for a second. So, that needs to go back all the way up to my position, which is 182.85. So I'm almost $3 off of my position. So $1,200, right? Yeah. Well, it's moving back up again, but. So, too early to tell. I kind of thought it was going to pop post or pre-market and give me a profit. So I'm a little surprised, and that's why I'm just contemplating what to do. This is the same thing every trader goes through, right? Like, what do you do? Oh, my God, I'm in a position. Do I just set it and forget it and move on? And that's kind of my attitude. I just don't want it to go too crazy on this particular account that we're putting on Trader View for everybody to see. So let's take a look at Apple, which is still bucking the trend, as they put it on the news. It's saying that Apple gained over 1% by anticipated for its upcoming iPhone 17 launch. Also, Amazon posted gains after announcing a major expansion in the same-day grocery delivery service. Now targeting 2,300 U.S. cities. So Amazon might move today. It is on the scanner at the bottom, so we want to get a look at that too. Let's see. Again, this is just trending, so it's, you want to worry about, let's just adjust this. So that's 235. You want to worry about chasing it, So that's a 10-day, 5-minute fib, marked from left to right, always low to high or high to low, but left to right. I'm sorry, always left to right, can be high to low or low to high. And it's giving us support and resistance levels only. Let's look at the 2-day on this, because this might be something I trade today. I have to look at it like I'm not behind and go crazy, because that's just one trade, and you don't want it to affect the strategy. I thought, I'm on a 30-minute. That's right. I set the breakouts. Here's a 2-day, 5-minute. So this is the other fib you want to do. There it is right there. So we'll get rid of that. Just in case this is something we want to look at, we'll mark some levels. Get the 10-day back open here. So we'll look at this for possible. So that still could be worthy. If it dips back down, which I kind of doubt, it's back down to 229, hit 235. Do we have any other support? Yeah, that level right there we should take a look at. So we should mark this, see if that smooths out over on the pre-market at all. Seems like it's respecting where it dipped, where it really turned around, not its wick. It seems like that's a better area to look at, which would be 234.50 probably. That's about it. You know, we could mark some of these. We're down here now. That's so close to the fib that I probably wouldn't do it. I won't do it. So that's Apple. Let's get to look at Tesla. I traded the crap out of that yesterday, as you can see. Why don't we just remove all that? Those are my intraday marks that are very short-term, actionable levels for me to trade scalping. Okay, it's going to make me drag this way from over here somewhere. Okay, scroll in the wheel. I'm just going to put it here and then set it to where it needs to go, which is 348.98. And that's the 10-day. Okay. So let's take a look at the 2-day here. It's actually consolidated over the last couple of days, which is interesting. I've been having a lot of luck with this on intraday scalping. So it's been kind of my go-to to recover, but it's definitely riskier, you know, as you guys know, the way that it moves. So, you know, you raise up to, I mean, I started at my max, according to how we do this yesterday. I just started at 200 and just rode it. And the max is 250, but I just traded 200 shares yesterday. And, man, I'm just going to call that the even dollar really, or somewhere close to it. There we go. I got 98. Okay. Yeah, and then I just rode the indicators and the levels, and I did really well yesterday, right in this area here, somewhere in here. Yeah. Maybe it was here because it was still fairly early. I don't know. I can't remember, but we got Charlie out of trouble on her Nvidia. We both kind of got a bit out of trouble, but then it didn't. I thought for sure Nvidia was gonna. She's still holding she had a 20 share, went up to 80 share position, so she's in a bit of pain, just like me. I have 400 shares, but we did. You know, since it's not closed, it didn't report for on trader view. So, but we did make some money yesterday to help mitigate those losses. But I'm hoping it doesn't drag her down. So she's going to follow my leader, even though it's her responsibility. Wow, look at that. That smoothed across there from the close of the previous day. So that's an interesting level. Is there enough smoothing there from over here? Kind of from here. I would smooth through that mess. Yeah, I picked it up there. You can see they just repeat. Historical data just repeats. That's why you mark it. But look at Tesla going down. So is there anything that, will any of those come into play right there? So here is another level where it kind of stopped right there that we're going to. So do we have news on Tesla? No. Tesla. 2.3% on Texas robo taxi license reconstruction and autonomous chip efforts. I don't know. What is that? More in-depth story on that? Gained modestly on the robo taxi ride sharing. That says something, though, the disbanding of the dojo team may complicate it. So, yeah, it's a typical, who knows how to read Tesla, right? Let me get to the 10-day for just a second here and see if there's something we've got down here. If we end up trading that, that kind of got, that hit right here again too, and that's smooth right there. So that's a pretty decent level right where it is. Maybe. I mean, if it just breaks right through it, it means absolutely nothing. But we're trying to find something that maybe will mean something. Maybe. Might be a winner. Who knows, right? So AMD is our next puppy here. Has it following, going down on that China news? Yeah. So it's more the China news that is affecting this right now, the chips right now, the H20, and saying that they want to do their own, that the tariffs complicated what's happening here. So that they moved forward, not wanting to be beholden to the U.S. That's my synopsis, but they don't want to, have, and plus it's the older chip model too, the H20, from what they're putting out. I don't want to hold sway on that pre-market level. There's nothing really to mark here. It's a nice wide fib channel, which is $6, so you wouldn't want to ride that. But if it comes down here, these levels are still a possibility for something, so we'll keep it like it is. Palantir. I didn't pull that spike on purpose. Yeah, this should be picked up here. So what do we got there? Right across the top there, if you smoothed it, that opened it. So it's really 189 is what it is. Let's just move it to 189. The other one's on that too, because it let me choose which one. Both fibs are on the same line, in other words, is what I'm saying. So I'll take a look at the other one. Yeah. Well, I'll leave it there. I know that I've got them at different levels. It doesn't look like those are going to come into play there, but it did slightly adjust it here. But the 10-day is way wider, so I don't really want to mess with that. So look at that, huh? Boom, 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 on that fib level. But then it broke it on that news that came out of China. So let's hope that doesn't gain purchase and just start sending this down. Seeing if there's anything on that level we should be marking. I'll go right into here. No, that's a bad spot. That tapped there like 3 times across here. See it hit again here. Kind of consolidate a little bit there. So maybe, these aren't clear levels, so that's what's scaring me a little bit about respecting them. But you never know. Sometimes these lame, what seem like lame levels get totally respected. And it's like you look back and you go, why wasn't that marked? Here's the low of that day before it sprang up, and it hit it a few times right here. When that's right where we are, so that's why I'm going to mark it. It seems like it's still respecting a little bit that level, that low of that day. So we'll take a look there. Maybe that's going to be enough to send it back up. I do think that's an emotional response, so on the pre-market. So we're hoping that everything's going to go up in the opening. Let's take a look at Hood. These are all on the scanners, guys. That's just not random picked. So It's how the scanners came up with everything here. So yeah, so the 2-day is definitely out of whack. So we're going to get rid of that. 10-day looks like it's still right on the fib. These are some intraday marks that aren't something I should pay attention to. As you can see, they didn't really get respected more than the short term, and it did get respected on the short term, which was, I don't know if I took advantage of that or not. So let's look at the 2-day fib. Huh, it's definitely different levels, so, but it's close to the other, right? So might afford us some good moves here. Really? Oh, there was a 3. So hard, you have to have such a touch to get the fibs to line up without just typing them in. Look how well it respected where I marked it. I get caught up in that all the time. Like, look at that! You just marked it there, you idiot. It's like, if I were to smooth this, it'd probably be catch those 2 dips right there. I don't see a lot else there. Let me look at the 10-day. We're way down here, so the fib picked that up. If we get down here, I could mark it, but I'm not sure I want to trade it if it's trending that low. Nothing here to mark in this zone, so it's marked up. Last one here is Amazon. We're about to open, so that went up. You know, this is not typically one I trade at the open, but I may be interested in this. And I've got to make a decision about the opening, which is the trade I don't recommend that you take. Remember, guys, I am not a licensed financial advisor. You should seek the advice of someone licensed before you try to emulate anything that I do here. So remember that. Trade responsibly with only money you can afford to lose. So I've got it marked down what 25% would be. Let's take a look at this at the open. This is going to be much lower share size, jilted. Let me just make sure I'm not missing some news story here. Just before the open that could affect something here. Let me switch back to my, if you just jumped on, I went over in detail the terrible position I'm in here. Yeah, so after the kind of bad news down here, we've got sort of positive news. So it may turn this around. Can't trade this because I've got an open position on it. I can trade AMD if it turns it around, though. So this might be a dip we were looking for. So let me get on this one for the open because this may just recover, which would be, then I know that that's happening over with Nvidia too, which is kind of getting me depressed this morning. So the max share size I can have on this is, I say 125, we'll make it 100 to be 25% of my position at the open. Does seem to be wanting to recover. I'm not sure I'll get a dip. Yeah, I think the 80.44 would be a buy for me, but it might just break it here. So if it goes by that at the open, that'll be my first position. I'm going to use that fib as a breakout. We have just a few seconds. Let's see what happens here. May just go down, and then that doesn't matter. Well, pick me up. There we go. That was a good first trade. I only need $1,150 more. No. Oh, damn, I got out too soon, but I just not trusting it continuing, right? So it just on this news, it's kind of you're chasing a. Wow, that's good news. That means Nvidia's going up, and indeed it is. That's good. Okay. People are buying the dip on Nvidia right now. Oh. What we call a dip at 180 now. Yeah, my mind's kind of focused on that. So we got a good opening trade. If any of you were fool enough to try something like that, and if you're still holding, be careful for a retracement here. I do not want to. I want to follow the strategy. I want to look for a more consolidating, safer. Now, what can happen a lot if you got stuck in the thing that I did, lower share size or not, you're trying to make it up, and then you suddenly throw all the strategy out the window, and you start almost revenge trading, where it's like, I got to make it up. I've got no choice. It's like that's where you can really get into trouble. Besides following me on the open trade, that's also where you can get into trouble. But you should stick to the strategy, share size wise and max loss wise, and it's the the turtle won the race, against the hare. Remember, just slow and steady is what this strategy is. And, if I got out at my max loss yesterday, if I had a max loss, then we'd be doing just fine, even with the Nvidia going against me. So I'm going to wait on this, but I do want to stay over to see if maybe we can get a consolidation on a long biased. So that's what I'm going to look for. But now we're just waiting. We're seeing what's going on. I'm watching up on the scanner here. You can get this over at the $1 Million Margin Club. So I watched this recover up almost $1 and then it was a minute ago. So, my position is 182.85, I think. So I got a ways to go. So let's see if this steadily goes up for Nvidia, for me anyway, and anybody else that might be trapped in that. I still hold high hopes that it will recover, but I'm going to keep an eye on it. I don't really want to swing, especially on this account, more than a day or two. Every swing I've done has worked just great. But now I've tightened up the rules where I can't go buy the 400 shares. So I'm at my max share size, just so everybody should be in the same position as far as whether it's a winning or losing trade, so we can look at it fairly at the end of the month. And not just about the money. Like I told you, I did a huge win on Apple. I'm still doing, and that was a swing trade. I just rarely take them, but everybody, we have a lot of people here in the studio, and there's somebody that only trades Apple every single day and reads every single thing and knows every single board member, and reads their postings and does everything. And he said, buy Apple. It's not really inside news. It's just because he keeps, and then everybody jumped in when it was right at near the 200 mark, and for thousands of shares. And then when it popped up, big money, and then we got out. He was saying 225, get out, and that's where most people got out, and it was like a $25 gain on, 5,000 shares, whatever it might be. So yeah, it was a huge win for me. I think I actually had more shares than that, guys, but it's a whole nother kind of trading. Besides the RV strategy, I do still take swings that can make the whole year. If you get just the right one. You have to have the funds, of course, which kind of sucks if you don't, but so this is the first 5. We're crossing the first 5 minute. Target up is 56 cents versus down. So still, this is 9 candles back. So we want to treat that accordingly. We're not really to the correct target range here. So let's just let's get in that P&L up there. I like to wait to see if it consolidates up here. But if if it's stair-stepping up with sort of a constant retracement, that's another way to trade this strategy. When you get something, it's like, why fight against it, right? And it is just going straight up, so it seems just foolish to not get in this move. Let me see if we get a pullback to this. What is this? The 282.50. Yeah, we're not going to get a pullback. So I am tempted to chase this just because I'm looking at the price action, and it broke the level of volume again, going up. So I'm going to grab that dip if it picks me up. Didn't. Tried to get it at 73. Didn't. Still won't. Looking at the level 2. Swailing up. I'll hold that because of the way it's looking. Probably will not get picked up. Yeah, I'm out. So not going to pick me up. That was too bad because it was close to getting. So we only have about a penny, 2 cents. So probably just using market now if I'm going to try this by a dip again. So let's see if we can get it below 183. Everything still says it's going up. There's nothing that says this is turning around. But of course, at any moment, that could happen. Looking for the dip, and there's no dip happening. So, wow. It's 234 is 34 cents, the dip. That might have been the lowest dip. 34 cents on the 83.34. Wow, so now it's going to break the 50 cent. Can we get a dip below the 50 cent to try to get in this move? No. I'm going to get in, guys. So I got in at 49. That's actually not bad. I thought it was going to be like 55 or something. So you know, as soon as I get in, that's when we're going to get a retracement. You know, you should know better than to chase a shooting star. It is showing signs of stopping right there, so this could be good. We'll see. Half position size would be 200 shares. This is just a slight pullback. Look at the level 2 swale up. It's 8 to 10 cents upward rather than downward, so it's making us move up. I didn't want to add, you know, I wasn't that confident down there, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we got a hangman, sort of, with a big long head, and there she goes. So I'm going to hold this a bit. At least we'll see if we can get, so we're into the 10-minute. This would be the consolidation level by the 11th or 12th minute, where we'd start to think about, do we want to start taking profit and then playing the swings? But until we see a retracement, I'm going to hold this for a bigger move. So there is the market magnet high. I don't know how great of historical data that is there. So it broke the 184, and that's good news to keep going. Okay. I was kind of waiting for the even dollar to be broken, and it did. It broke it pretty solidly. It's pulling back now, but as it breaks it, I'm going to actually go in, guys, for a larger share size. I'm at 77. You don't see me do that too often, but I wanted to get higher share size as it was moving up because it looks like it's going to break it. I'm going to look for, I think if I cross $100, I'll take profit. So I'm going to take profit there, go back down to my share size, look for a dip, and chase it a little further. So 50 cents is our next one to watch. Get a dip, take that dip. I got it at 18 cents. So that's a pretty good entry, I think. Now we've got to hit that 11th minute, so all your 5-minute traders are about to pop in, and they're going to see nothing but green. And then you're going to see up here, you'll see your 15-minute traders go in there. A lot of them are waiting for the breakouts. Okay, so Nvidia's stalled a bit up there, so that could be a sign that we're done with this. But let's see. Yeah, I might just get out if it starts to flush here. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't like the look of the previous candle. I'd almost prefer it was red than the way it's an evening star there, which is a sign of a reversal. Yeah. So, do I add to this position? I'm still looking. The level 2 says up still, so I'm still thinking it's going up. I'm at 184.18, feeling confident. I'm not confident enough to add, but I'm going to look for smaller profits now. I'm not going to try to go for the big one that I just did. It is definitely slowing down. You can see the volume's dropping. I'd like to see this turn blue. Okay, so that's 2 at the 84.50 or the 84 even. No, 84.50. Okay. All right, so let's see if this starts to flush up. God, almost added there. I saw it, and we'll just take a $30 trade if I get it there. There we go. So 200 on this. I'm looking at Nvidia, and it's $1 off my position now. So from being $1,200 down, I'm only $400 down. So, oh no, I'm sorry. I calced my position adding to it, but I never added to it down there. So I'm still a little bit off, about a buck 60 off my position, but it's going up fast. Now I'm almost a buck off I'm looking at two things at once, but all right. So let's take a look at this trade. I want to see what this historical data is here. What is this data? Okay, so that's marked just on yesterday, but boy, did it respect it, huh? Yeah. So it's something to keep an eye on just in case. It stopped it for a second there. That might get us a nice retracement, and I'll grab I'll grab a dip down here. So 184.50 or below would probably be a nice dip. It's going to break it. It broke 185 is also right at that level, which could hold a lot of sway to the even dollar. Remember, trade with the crowd. So you read Tom Hogarth's book, and he said the crowd's always wrong. So you don't want to trade with the crowd. But he's not really talking about momentum trading. He's talking about swing trading. I'll be reviewing that book myself as one of my idols. That guy, I love him. Along with he's still alive, thank goodness. But Mark Douglas has passed. He's another one. I've read that book I don't know how many times. So they're not strategy books, which is a little different than like the $1 Million Margin Club books are great because they're strategy books. Nobody was doing strategy books till they started doing it. And then you could, like, if you're new, you have something to learn. I don't think it's going to dip to the 50. So I'm being patient, but I think I'm missing the move. Any kind of dip is just going to break the 85. You can see it coming. There it was. Jeez. So I should have just got in and not been so greedy for the dip to be so perfect for me. So will it break back below 185, or is that it? It is a strong move up. Looking for a dip. Anything below 185, I'll probably snag. I'll take that. Like I got 99, 1 penny below. So we're looking for just a $20 trade maybe. That's 20 cents up if it does it on 100 shares. Obviously, if our share size was higher, we could be doing way better on this. Some of you probably are. You can't get in too much trouble with 100 shares either unless you just stop watching, It is stalling at the 185, so it might have just taken a second. It's making a flat top. We really needed to break it strong. Something could send this down quite a ways, so you got to be careful adding, There it goes. Nice, safe stock to trade. There we go. So we're looking good. Plenty of time still. We can't get cocky because this will pull back at some point. Now it's using the even dollar as a support. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that and hope that it's a dip and not a full retracement. I meant to get, I was trying to go on a double-digit swing there. Yeah, so I've held that just a second longer. I would have made a lot more money. So I'm getting worried about a bigger retracement, so I'm playing the wins a little tighter. Just green is green. Take it. It's slowing down, so it's retraced, but I think it's still going to go right back up again. So let's take a look here. 76 on the ask, 10 cents off position. Okay, not good. So I don't want to add to this if it breaks to 50 cent. Yeah, I'm going to take a hit here, I think. I'll wait a beat longer. Well, I'll add if it swales back up. That's what I'll do, but let's see. Yeah, oh, geez. That happened so fast. Yeah, that was not as good a position as I wanted. It swelled up so quick on a dip. People are not ready for this to stop going up. But now I could lose bigger money, so I'm going to play it conservative, guys. I don't want to take a big hit here, so let's see. It's not blowing up my skirt here with its level 2 action. There it goes. It should be another big swale here. Here comes a profit. Here we go. And we'll take that. So 248. Let's get back down to 100 shares. So it's showing signs of consolidation. So this is where we trade, the strategy we trade. Short, long, long, short, long, short. With a long bias. So this is almost perfect for us to start taking small scalps here. So I'm not going to FOMO around and look for something else. I'm liking the action this is presenting us. So let's just make sure as we start to trade this, it doesn't start to become stair-stepping down. We want it to stair-step up on the consolidation. So anywhere on right now, logic would say the 50 cent would be long. You know, anywhere on 84.50, you could take a long. And there it is. I'm going to go for it. I got it at 49. And I'm just looking for small wins here. 10 cents, 15 cents if we can get it. Make sure we're not stair-stepping down. There was 10 cents for a split second. There we go. That was a little trade. So that worked, waiting for the 50 cents. That was an inverted hammer, and we hit the 9 moving average along with the 50 cent. Now we go short. I do feel confident going short now, but I'd want it to be way up near the 185. Well, not a new high, but that would be perfect if we can get it on a new high. But I think in this range, let me just put a intraday level here, just where I would feel safe. Yeah, probably on the $0.25, I'd feel safe shorting it. I'm going to do market, so I get picked up on these little moves. But it still might be, that might have just been a little retracement. It might just go to the moon here. So again, anything can happen. I'm just telling you my thoughts that it's like, well, be careful. You know, you go short and it just may, it's not guaranteed to come back down to the 84.50. But it is starting to consolidate here, which is a nice and safe way for us to trade this strategy. Volume's way down. The big players can, build a trade the RV strategy or other strategies like that, can affect the movement of a stock with this low volume. So you need to be careful when they're dropping in 2, 3, 500,000 shares, how they could affect the movement here. $50. Got it on the 50 cent. Going long. Just a little move, just a baby move. It was starting to fade there on the level 2, so I didn't trust it. So here we go. Here's our consolidation. can we trust? Now we got to figure our channel. Is our channel 185 to 184.50? Is that our channel? That would be awesome if that's our channel. So clear cut on the half and whole dollar. Wow. I saw it plunging low. I'm thinking I'm going to pick it and think it's not a complete flush. Get it back up to the 50. Tried to get it closer to a 20-cent win there, but it's fading, so that's not good. I should have just sold market up there. Yeah, the spread's not that big, so it's more like how fast it moves. It wasn't as much as I was hoping, but I wanted to get out of that. As you can see, it's going down. So okay, so it channel hopped. So let's wait to see what it's going to do here, guys. It might just be retracing the whole way. Nvidia's still going straight up, 50 cents from my position, which means I'm only $200 down over there, which is nice. From $1,200 down this morning. So. But it just started to fade a bit too. Nvidia did. They seem to move in concert a lot, these two stocks. So, but we got a good day so far. If we weren't wrapped up in my swing drama, we're doing good. Just play it cool. Don't get cocky. We got time. Magnets way above us. I think I might have ended up with the stock either way today, honestly, rather than Nvidia if I wasn't holding. The movement of AMD is just it's not as thickly traded as Nvidia, so you get bigger swings, here on the level 2. The more thickly traded you are, of course, the more it takes to fill the shares, and then it moves a little slower from the ask and the bid. Like you go over to Ford or GM or stocks like that, it moves a penny in 10 minutes. At least that's how when I used to trade those. That's why I stopped. I haven't really been watching them too closely. So interesting. It's pulling us back into this channel, but that's the buy-sell oscillator. The momentum just sent it down too, which is interesting. I tend to go long down here at 184, short at 185. Right in the middle, I'm not sure. It's messing with us. That would be the perfect way I would trade it, but I may decide to snap in earlier, depending on how I see this flow. Looking to short as it's going up, but it's fading. Look at that, huh? I'm going to take that right near. That's close enough to the 184 that I'm looking for a pop back real quick, slingshot. Let's see. $28. That's only 18 cents. Yeah, again, I should have just hit market. I don't know why. It changes so quick that you can... so that was a good trade. We're almost breaking 300. So we're going for between 150 and 500 a day. So it's a good start. Nvidia's dropping off again. These two were moving concert, so I'm keeping an eye on them. Apple's going up. Tesla is, it's going back up again from its close. It was way down. So everything seems to be going up. So yeah, look at the market pulse. So this is a great indicator to have, guys, because at a glance, you can see 15-minute, 5-minute, what is the overall market telling the other traders. Besides the multi-chart alignment per stock that you're trading, the traders that trade on the 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour, what are they seeing? What are they most likely to do when they trade with the crowd? By looking at the price action through their patterns. Going to do the same thing. If it was almost did it. There it goes. Like, that was terrible, Phil. I hit it at 03. It got me at 09. So I kind of want to get out of this position because I think it's dropping. Let me see if I can get any kind of a profit. I wanted it 10 cents better than I got it, so I'd already be out. It's torturing me here. I don't like the way it's moving. One swale up. I'm just going to get out if I can. I knew it. Guys, I'm going to take a losing trade there. Yeah. So I took a loss there. It looks like it's going down, so I'm not going to add to it. So we're getting a bigger retracement. Look at the 5 minute. That's a 3 down. So the third 5 minute straight down is what I'm saying. So this is not a time to go long. We need a confirmation that it is going to retrace back up. So we channel hopped down here for sure, and now we just broke into the other channel, and there's the bottom of the market magnet. That turned it around. You broke the 9, the 14, and the 20. Here's your VWAP. I mean, that could be what we're looking for, another green candle going up, and then we have a chance to trade consolidated, but we may have to change our bias if it keeps going down here. Yeah, Nvidia went down 75 cents in just the last 2 minutes. So going to be one of those days, huh? That is a huge rickshaw, man, which is a big reversal sign. And buy-sell oscillator as well turning around, market magnet turning around. Boy, if it breaches all those, we might want to change our bias. Let's see, let me get a closer look at the overall scalpers indicator here. Yeah, just sellers have absolutely taken control here. So you do not want to go long right now in this stock. And I'm still worried about going short. So I'm kind of thinking of moving on from here because I don't like it's broken the, we might be stuck here for a while. Why don't I take a look at, let me see, what does Amazon really look like here? It says straight up over here. Wow. That would have been a good one to trade at the open as well. That had news. Is that the top of the, no, that's not the top of the, what is that? Is that an old breakout level? No, that must be the, yeah, that's the top of the ATR. So we broke the high. This is some nice consolidation here. Let me see what it looks like here. So Amazon, we can trade the same thing. Is that what it is? Oh, I don't really have Amazon up here. So what's the price of Amazon? Yeah, so I think we're at 100 shares max for this. Is that 25% of our position, or is that Hood? Yeah, I think it's actually a little less than this, but just be careful not to go over your... I'm trying to tell you share size that we should go by. So this would be someplace I would absolutely go short, right at the 230.50 range. Play it long biased. Look for retracements. Look at your whole and $half levels. There's our fibs. I did mark this out, right? Tell me I marked this out. Yeah, it looks like I marked it out, right? It's the fib. No, that's from an older fib. Yeah, okay, so 242 was its high. There's the 2-day. Oh, right here. Okay. So that's not really right. It should have been from here to here. We're beyond it, but just in case we get a dip, I'll put that in. Well, I had a chance to take that trade, and I was messing around. Yeah, I called it, that's for sure. Just reversed. It was at 48 cents over there, I think. Damn, that would have been a good one, huh? Oh, well. Hope some of you picked that up while I was messing around with the fibs. So I would look to go long off the ATR, absolutely, if it got down there. Get that almost perfect abandoned baby. Such a reversal sign there. I always picture the mother abandoning the baby, by the way. Because dads don't do that. Not. You can't have the wick there, and this needs to be a little lower to be a true abandoned baby. The dad drops it off, and then the mom never picks it up. All right, don't send me nasty emails. I'm just joking around. I'm going to pick male biased. Sorry, guys, I don't have a trade that I feel confident calling right here. Any intraday line would be the even dollar anyway, right there, the 230. MACD's turning it around. I mean, I saw a trade, and hopefully you got it. I didn't take it. I was messing around, but if it comes up here again and taps, even the fib really, but that definitely, when it got up to 230 and 50 cents. This does look like the way it's moving here. If you look at here, let's look at the price action between them, right? So you're getting, you just almost draw a line, here, and you just see how much is it swelling, So right now it went from like 12 cents to just 6 cents in the last minute or so, this one. But you want to try to get at least a 10-cent move every couple, 3 seconds, I'm going to pick it up. I got a little higher than I wanted it there, but going long off that level. We'll take that trade. 17 bucks up. Get some of that $30 loss I just had a minute ago. So this could pull the magnet down, which could flush it through that ATR, so be careful here. But I'm looking to get the dip again at the 50-cent area. Down here, 229.50 if it goes down there. But you can see how much slower Amazon is with the volume. You're going to get picked up with market. They might slip you a bit. So you want to make sure you're getting 10, 12, 15 cents. So if it slips you 3 or 4 cents, you're still making green. But you're getting filled. Because it may just do, with this kind of share size, it may do a very partial. See how it's even dropped? The volume just dropped. What times? This is when people should. Oh, so there was a push right at 10. So the bigger, large cap traders sent that down. Large share size traders, I mean. Well, I was hoping Nvidia would be a quick in and out for me this morning, but it's going to torture me today. Well, I think as you trade, as you go on today, this one could be very interesting for very safe because it's very low, slower movements. Pay attention to your levels. Don't be afraid to take a loss. overall, it should get you 80-90% accuracy if you keep your losses low. This would probably be a very safe stock to trade, whatever you're doing, 5 shares, 10 shares, 50 shares, or as many as 100 like I'm doing. It's probably pretty safe. Just watch your numbers. You know, you're trying to move. This says 18 to 17. I'd look at it. I'd almost cut it in half and go for that range. You know, so you're looking for 9 cents and 8 cents roughly to just make your move then. So you count on that much money. You know, you can look right there and see it. That's what's so great about this. You're going for 8 cents. It'll show you. It's really slowing down and consolidating right here. Not enough for me to draw intraday levels yet, but I'm just looking at it. But I'm going to move on from this one. Well, let's see if it's going to make a move down here. No. Okay. I'll move on so we can just give you guys some advice on other ones. Let's get back here a second just to see if AMD settled down in a new area. No, it's just going down. So we don't want to do that right now. So you have to wait for it to consolidate. Tesla. We haven't looked at it yet this morning. This is my go-to if I'm making up for Charlie. Wow, so it went down pre-market and it's been riding back up. Based on what news? I don't know. And again, generally I would call that good news, even though it says stock is down, because they're reporting off the pre-market level. Let's see what the consolidation is just beautiful. Look at that. And I find this happening, you know, in late morning and early afternoon, that it's just a go-to to make bucks. That it does jump the channels, and you just got to be careful, but it creates these channels, these ranges that you can just go long, short, pick a bias, and just once it starts to break the opposite way, get the heck out and don't be worried about taking a loss. Don't worry about your accuracy. Worry about the money. You know, I worry about the accuracy a lot. It's not the best way to trade, but this is great for trading right now. So that's 338 down to your fib. So it's a $1.50 channel or a dollar channel right here. So if we did the Tesla is 50 shares, if we wanted to do that. So I would take that trade there, and off that fib, what did I get it? I got it off the even dollar, right? I'm just going to sell market. It is jumping, so it's like could make me lose when I think I win. There you go. So that was an easy call right there on that channel. So Tesla might be another one if you're careful, get your share size nice and low, because it does do springs. I mean, it does suddenly shoot out in a certain direction. Okay, guys, I'm going to be holding my breath. Let's take a look at Nvidia before I go. Well, it's getting better. It was $1,200 when we started. I'm way up at 85 cents here, so. But at least it's going the way I want it to go. Let me get a look at this just to make sure I'm not going to reassess for those of you that might be in this. Yeah, it spiked there twice. Doesn't seem to want to break that level. That would put me roughly 50 cents down or $200 down, which is, I'm already over that today, so I'd be green today if I looked at it that way. So, you know, it's consolidating here. What? U.S. Treasury freezes Bitcoin purchases? I'm not going to buy. They're just going to confiscate assets. Okay, I guess that's generally good news for crypto. I have positions in crypto. I just news stories can really affect it quickly, which sometimes can be a good opportunity. Okay, guys, we're going to call it a day there. I hope you are doing well. It is not Friday yet, right? No. So I won't wish you a good weekend, but hopefully you're doing good. I'll be doing an update video about where we're at with everything. So thanks for watching, and go green out there, guys. I'll see you soon.